Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, July 31st. It is 6:16 right now. Market's going to open in about 14 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good here. More things here to update. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, looks good. So I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And then we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Today's Monday, July 31st. It is 6:18 right now. Market's going to open in about 12 minutes. I'll get a few more moments for people to continue making their way into the room, and then we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update. Let's post this up to our IG real quick. It's good. That is. Got my phone. My scary guy over there. All right, so I'll get a few more moments for people to make their way in, and we will get started in a few. All right, looks like we're good to go, guys. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Let's see who's here so far. Let's see, morning, Daniel, morning, Kaner, morning, Kenny, morning, everybody. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. It's time for the market to open shortly. Market is opening in about 11 minutes. So we got some time here to set up. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up the liquidity on our liquidity chart. So I'll start off over here on the 1 week time frame. And let's start off by marking this up real quick as people continue to make their way in. It's good on the weekly time frame. Let's go down to the daily. So I'm using the high-low indicator here to identify liquidity. If you guys are not familiar with it, just watch the previous mentoring sessions and cover it in detail there. And just a heads up, guys. So for today, we're going to be doing the mentoring session a little later than usual. Some of the people who can't attend the earlier sessions are asking if we can host, some days later in the afternoon, say about like 4 p.m. Pacific time, for people who still work like normal day jobs. So we're going to do that for today, guys. Today, our mentoring session will be at 4 p.m. If you guys need to get pushed back a little farther to 5 p.m., just let me know and we can make adjustments. But we'll try to shift it around. So some weeks we'll have it at a regular time, 2 p.m. Some weeks we'll have it later at 4 p.m. And we're just going to do that to accommodate for other people in the group who can attend the earlier sessions. So I'll give you guys an update and I'll post in the group. But yeah, today we're going to have a later than usual mentoring session just to accommodate for the other members here who can't make the earlier time. All right, there goes the 1 hour liquidity. Now we're getting down to the lower level liquidity. Start marking these up over here. 30-minute, nothing there. 15-minute. Change the color to red. All right, so we got the low level liquidity right here in the red, high level liquidity in the blue. Let's go back to the 1 minute. And there we go. So as you guys can see, there's not really much high level liquidity near current price. It's kind of far off. There's like one level right here, but this is not, I mean, these two levels are not high level liquidities. These are like 10-minute levels. So if you guys are looking to take these entries here, I'd probably only go for 100 pips. I probably wouldn't go for the full 300 just because they're low level liquidities for the most part. And this level might get hit pre-market. So we'll see. All right. So let's see what's here so far. Morning Solange, morning Patricia, morning Maria, morning Van Harwig, morning Shiv, morning everybody. Today's Monday, July 31st. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. I've marked up the liquidity here on the liquidity chart. As you guys can see, we have low level liquidity right here at the top and at the bottom. So I don't think these are going to be strong levels of liquidity. If you guys do plan on taking them, I'd probably only go for 100 pips. I mean, if you guys want to hold on to it longer, it's up to you, but I'm just going to give you guys a heads up that these are low levels. So you probably want to be a bit careful with taking these entries here. Also, the ATR is very low. It's at 4 points right now. It's extremely low right now, actually, pre-market. And we'll see how this picks up when market opens in the next 7 minutes or so. So just a reminder, if you guys are just joining into the room, today's mentoring session is going to be pushed back a little further to 4 p.m. just to accommodate for the other members here who can't attend the earlier sessions. So if you guys still can't attend the 4 p.m. and you guys want me to push it back further, just let me know. I can push it back to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, etc. We just want to make sure that majority of people can attend that time. So for today, guys, just a heads up for the mentoring session, it's not going to be at 2 p.m. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Just a few hours off. It'll be recorded. So if you guys can attend it, you guys can review the replay at a later time. So just another reminder to you guys. Sorry, guys. YouTube. Yeah, D. That was mainly for you too. So I know you can't attend the later session. So if 4 o'clock is still too early, D, just let me know. We'll push back to 5, or we can push it back to 6. It's whatever works out for you. Hey, Kaz, how's it going? Morning. All right, guys. Market is opening in about 6 minutes. We've marked up pretty much. We've marked up the liquidity here from the weekly down to the 10-minute. Let's go over here to the main chart. So for the main chart over here, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the overall direction of price. I don't think there was any news pre-market. So we don't really need that right now. Today's overall vibes, retail, sentiment. Fundamental bias, short-term technicals, long-term technicals. All right, so let's take a look at the news for today. So for today, this morning, we have Chicago PMI at 6:45. Let's look at my FX book. So medium news at 6:45 Chicago PMI. We have Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index at 7:30, and that's pretty much it for today. So 6:45, 7:30. I'll mark that up over here. 6:45. then 7:30 right there. That's pretty much all the news for today and what we'll be looking for. So we're not really going to look for trade until after 6:45 anyways. So it's not really a big deal for us. Medium impact, so it's probably going to push price around. Looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are currently up 44 points. So they're not very high right now. They're pretty much neutral at the most part. So neutral fundamentals right now, 47 points. We put that down over here. Neutral plus 47. Retail sentiment over here is currently 76% short. This indicates that 76% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and buy. So for this right here, we're going to put bullish. 76% short. Short-term technicals over here. Let's take a look at the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute time frames. You can see over here on the 1 minute price is actually bearish because price is below the pivots. Price is below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling down. The 5 minute over here price is neutral. This price is in between the pivots, trend meters green. And the 10 minute over here price is also bullish because price is above the pivots. It's kind of in between, trend meters green, pivots are angling up. So with that said, for short-term technicals, we're going to put neutral. And for the long-term technicals, it's still going to be bullish. You can see over here on the 30 minute, 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, price is above the pivots, trend meters green, pivots are angling up. So this is going to indicate that price is still bullish on the longer time frames. So short-term technicals are going to be neutral. Long-term technicals are going to be bullish. So we have somewhat of a bullish bias. It's not very strong. It's just on the longer term movement. So retail sentiment, 76% short. So we typically want to buy long-term, and then long-term technicals are also bullish. Short-term is neutral and the fundamentals are neutral. So we don't really have much of a bias right now. Looking over here at the ATR is currently 5 points. So it's not really moving too much. Typically when we're ready in our orders, we want it to be above 15 points. So right now there's just there's nothing for us to really look at until the market starts to pick up, which is completely fine because today is Monday. Market has not opened yet for the week officially. It'll be opening in about 2 minutes. So we'll see what happens in the next few minutes as market opens. So got market opening up shortly. Hey, James, morning. Morning, Seren. Morning, everybody. Shiv's asking, hey, Sean, what's the upper liquidity level? Let's see. Upper liquidity level is at 35,660. So 300 points higher or slightly above it. The lower level is 35,627. So this will probably hit pre-market. If not, it'll probably hit like slightly, but the volatility is so low. So the 100 pips might not even get hit. You guys can see the volatility is at 5 points or the ATR. So it might not even get to that point. So we'll see what happens here shortly. C6 said today's the last day of the month. Funny how I overlooked that. Yeah, exactly. Today's the last day of the month. And it is NFP week. So just keep that in mind, guys. NFP week is very tricky. It's typically going to be either volatile the entire week, or it's going to be very slow up until Wednesday, and then it picks up on Wednesday when the heavier impact news comes into play. There goes the liquidity right there that just got hit, as I mentioned right here, 100 pips, full TP if you guys decided to take that. Market, it hit pre-market just like we anticipated. I wouldn't typically go for the full move because the volatility is so low, but you guys can see over here, it just hit. Next level of liquidity is going to be down here. So that first level of liquidity right there just hit full TP pre-market. I wouldn't have taken its pre-market, plus it's a low level liquidity. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, the volatility is still too low. It's just having this opening move right here. If you guys are familiar with how the market moves, typically the market moves very irregular on Mondays and Fridays because market is reopening from the weekend. So a lot of this late movement here. Market is now open. Price is dropping down further. There goes the second level of liquidity there that just got hit. And there goes the third level of liquidity right here that's about to get hit as well. It just got hit right there. So pretty much all liquidity here that I marked up pre-market just got hit. This one right here got hit pre-market. This one got hit on open. This one right here just got hit right now as well. So pretty much all the lower levels of liquidity just got hit right there. They all went straight to the full TP for 100 pips, like I mentioned. I wouldn't typically go for the full move because it's only, I mean, the ATR is super low right now. It's currently at 9 points still. So pretty much all liquidity right here just got hit to full TP. There's no official entries there. It's not entries I would have personally taken. Overall direction here is still looking like bullish for the long term. So we'll see what happens here shortly, but there's no official entries yet until news passes over here at 6:45. So guys, just a reminder, I'm not going to be answering any questions during these live sessions. If you guys have questions, hold them for the mentoring session, or if you do have them, feel free to post them up, but I won't be answering them until the end or until we have some downtime. So during these live trading sessions, it's going to be strictly trading. If we do have some downtime, I'll answer some questions, or if we have time at the end, I'll answer questions. But if you do have any questions, make sure to keep those, especially if they're detailed questions, hold them for the mentoring session, because we're not here to answer questions or explain the strategies. We're here to trade. And that's what's going to be our main focus for today. So 6:31, guys, market is now open. Volatility starting to pick up. You guys can see the ATR down here is now at 10. It's starting to pick up quite a bit. So it went from like 5 to 10 to 11. We're looking for this to be above 15 before we start looking for entries. But we do have some medium impact news over here at 6:45. So we're probably going to wait for this news to pass before we start looking for actual entries today. So, all right, guys, we just got to let the market stabilize a bit. Market just opened from the weekend, so it's going to be moving a bit crazy. I do expect price to swing back up. So you can see over here our price drop. I think this right here is going to be a fake out, and I think price is going to swing all the way back to the upside. Right back to where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to mark up the opening price. So opening price is right there. If you guys want to have an idea where price is likely to go back to, it's going to probably go back and retest opening price right there. Hey, Shiv. Morning, Shannon. All right, so there goes opening price right there. Price swings back up. That's going to be the target price point. Typically, it's going to go back to opening price, and that's exactly where it went to right there. So whatever price fakes out like that, it typically goes back to opening price. I'm going to go over here to the clean chart, and I'm going to mark up opening time to 8 o'clock so that you guys can see structure here. I'm also going to mark up opening price right there. And I'll mark up further structure right here. So we got structure down there. All right. So there goes structure right there. As you guys can see, there's not really much going on here. Price is kind of just swinging around. Well, it's just correcting back up from opening price. Price came down for the fake out, swung right back up. You guys remember overall bias is bullish, so I do expect price to push up further. So I think price will continue pushing up. That's why I wouldn't really chase the sell here, even if we had the opportunity. Liquidity did get hit low right there. So liquidity pretty much got hit all these levels down here. But I wouldn't take it because the overall direction is still bullish. So I mean, if price pushed up, maybe I'd take some liquidity to the upside, but for where price is currently at right here, not necessarily the direction that I want to be trading in, because overall direction here is still bullish, as you guys can see. It's just a fake out to the bottom, and then price swing back up eventually. However, if price stays below, that's completely fine. We can continue trading for some sells here. It's not a big deal. We just got to wait for volatility here to pick up. So the ATR is picking up very heavily. It's now at 14. Once it gets above 15, that's going to be solid time for us to start looking for trades. But we do have medium impact news right here at 6:45. So we'll wait for this news to pass. Once it passes, we'll start looking for entries after that. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and start marking up. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get a few more moments for it to continue bouncing around. And then once we have a direction of price, like if price stays below or price swings above, I'll start marking up the levels. I think price will push up. Obviously, that's pretty much where I'm expecting price to go. So all the liquidity here already got hit. It's all full TPs for these right here. It's going to clean this up a little bit so we don't have a messy chart here. And there goes price pushes up higher. And probably going to hit the level of liquidity up there if price continues to push up. So it's pretty much just wiping everybody out who chased the sells. That's why I was kind of cautious about the sells earlier. it looks like price will probably sit around this area. If anything, price will sit around this middle area here. If not, then it'll probably keep pushing up. So I think the two different scenarios here that play out, price will either sit around this opening price right here, like it's been doing last week, and not really move anywhere, or price will just continue pushing up higher and continue to climb to next levels, because it's still bullish here. I mean, if you look over here now at the technicals, the short term is still very messy. You can see over here on the 5 minute, 10-minute price is like in between the pivots, if not below. But the higher time frames over here are still bullish. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here in the next few minutes. But as you guys can see right here, price is coming right back to opening price, that blue line that I drew earlier. So it's pretty much the same pattern as last week. You can see price fakes out to the bottom, fakes out to the top, and then it comes right back down to the middle over here, which is opening price. This is an area that you don't want to trade in. So if you guys remember from last week, we don't want to trade within this area here. We want price to push away. If price pushes away, great, we'll start looking for some buys. If price pushes to the downside, that's fine too. We'll look for some sells. Well, we don't want to be trading in this middle area right here. I think price will probably consolidate a bit until we get closer to the news price. So news happens over here at 6:45, 6:37 right now. So we have about 13 minutes, or sorry, we have about 8 minutes until news. So we'll see what happens here shortly, but there's no rush, guys. So just keep in mind, Mondays and Fridays are the riskier days to trade because people are re-entering the market from the weekend. Fridays, people are exiting the market for the weekend. You just want to wait for price to stabilize and then choose a direction. There's no direction here. The reason why we know there's no direction is because price is sitting at opening price down here. So until price pushes away from this area, there's just no direction yet. Yeah, Talanji said sell breakout hit. Let's see. Stop loss as expected. Typical manipulation Mondays. Hopefully nobody took it. Yeah. Well, I mean, the volatility was so low that like I wouldn't expect it to hit anyways. But yeah, it looks like it didn't play out from here. Actually, yeah, no, depending on where you would have taken it, I wouldn't have counted this candle over here as the breakout entry. Talanji or either of these because the wick on the bottom is so big. So let me just clean this up a little bit. So I don't know where you would have entered the entry. Talanji, this wick here is way too big, so I wouldn't have taken this opening candle. And then this one right here, the wick on the bottom is as big as a candle, so I wouldn't have taken this one either. It needs to be a strong candle in that direction. So I wouldn't have taken the yeah, this here wouldn't be the breakout entry. The wick on the bottom is way too big. Yeah, Kip's asking what breakout criteria would you be using? Yeah, because I personally, I don't know. You probably just use well, I don't know if Talanji applies it a specific way. Yeah, you just go directly off the candle, right, Talanji? Just momentum, because the bias for today was bullish, so I wouldn't even have taken that breakout. Today's retail sentiment was bullish, fundamentals were neutral, short term was neutral, long term was bullish. So if you're using the bias, you wouldn't take the sell to begin with. And then also for this one right here, I also wouldn't take it because the wick on the bottom is too big. So there wouldn't be a breakout here unless there was a buy signal that came up, which I guess technically you could have taken the breakout over here off this 6:33 candle. I mean, I still wouldn't take it because it's still bearish on the shorter time frames. So if I turn on the pivots here, yeah, it's still bearish. So I wouldn't take this one, and I also wouldn't take this one right here because it's below the pivot. It's bearish on the shorter time frames. Yeah, so I mean, I don't see a breakout there at all for that. I just wanted to confirm because I wasn't sure like what you were looking at too, because when you mentioned that, I was like, I didn't see a breakout there. But we will, yeah, I mean, that's why we don't really apply the breakout as much because it's so subjective. Like Talanji here thought that he saw a breakout, but me and Kip just analyzed it. I analyzed it. I didn't see a breakout. Kip analyzed it as well. He didn't see a breakout as well. So it's just up to preference, guys. I mean, if you guys want to take that strategy, I personally don't take the breakout anymore. The volatility is not even high enough to take the breakout because you're going for like 500 pips. So like even if you were going to go for that much, man, I hate how freaking TradingView always changes their tools over here. They change the tools and I don't know where everything's at anymore. But yeah, basically if you're going to go for, And I hate trading. I don't even know what these buttons are anymore because they keep changing the buttons. Before, this price range was a lot easier to use, but this is typically what the range would be for the breakout. You guys can see how big this range is right here because you're going for 500 pips in either direction, right? The breakout, you'd be trapped in this position if you were to take breakout anywhere because it would just be stuck there. It'd be stuck in the middle, basically. So I wouldn't even take the breakout in this type of market. Breakout is not supposed to be applied during the summer conditions, guys. If you guys are applying it, just, you have to adjust your TP stop loss to something smaller. But anyways, guys, back to the charts over here. There's not really much for us to look at. There's nothing for us to take. So there's nothing that we're missing right now. We have news coming up right here at 6:45. So we're just waiting for news to pass until we can take something. So we do have some downtime right here until news happens at 6:45. So I wouldn't really recommend taking anything, guys, until news passes. This is going to be the Chicago PMI. It's medium impact news. It's probably going to push price in one direction or the other. So once price pushes away from this news candle right here, we can start looking for some sort of direction. If price pushes up, great, we'll look for some buys. If price pushes down, great, we'll start looking for some sells. But right now the ATR is a bit higher. It's looking nice. ATR is currently at 16. So we may have opportunity here to start looking for some possible entries if price continues to push, in a certain direction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up the levels now so that we can start looking for, possible entries here as price continues to move along. There's nothing right now, but it's going to start setting up here. That's good. So we got some of the levels right there. News is happening right here in about 3 minutes. So we're going to wait for the news to pass. Once the news passes, hopefully we'll have some sort of direction at that point. Right now, we still don't have a direction. You can see we got prices keeps bouncing back and forth. We have the structure right there marked up, but not necessarily anything to work with here specifically. Let me just make some adjustments right here. All right, so there goes structure right there. You can see it a lot better now. Price is just ranging between this area right here. Let's see if it breaks above. It's a quick question from Shiv. Shiv's asking, Sean, if you have some downtime, can you quickly clarify the trade ovate limits? So if you're doing a limit order, it's how I do all of my orders, Shiv. So if you hit buy or sell here, you're just putting the price that you want to get into. If you're entering a stop order, this is going to enter in a certain direction. But if you're doing a limit order, this is where you'll enter your price. Like, for example, if you want to enter somewhere right here at 65,640, you would just put the price right there. And then you put your TP stop loss. That's how you enter your order. So, that's how you would do it. It's the same thing. Limit orders and stop orders are the same. It just depends on like which direction you're going. If your price is pulling back, you're going to use a limit. If price is pushing through, you're going to use a stop order. But limit and stop order is the same thing. It just depends on where your entry is. If price is pushing up and your entry is below it, it's going to be a limit. If price is above, it'll be a stop. But it wouldn't really matter because if you put in a limit, it'll give you an error. And you're like, okay, I got to put in a stop then. So these two are pretty much the same thing. You're going to basically put the price that you want to enter at. Your contract size will be right here, and then your TP's right there, and your stop loss is right there. So it's pretty simple. It's straightforward. Yeah, no, it's pretty simple. It's easier to understand how it works when you actually apply it. So when you do it real time, you'll see how the order gets placed, and you'll see how everything gets executed. It might sound confusing, but if you actually just put it in, yeah, you can just test it out. You can play around with it. It's the same thing. If it's on demo or trader bait, it's the same order window. So it doesn't really change anything. All right, so here goes the news candle right here, guys. I'm going to go and mark up news price so I can clean this up. So we've got news price right there. It's not really pushing price too much, but we do have the news candle right there. All right, guys. So let's see where this ends up. Oh no, the ATR is pretty good. ATR is currently at 18 right now. So if we start to get some movement in a direction, we can start looking for entries here. The next news event's at 7:30. So we'll see how price here moves along. If price ends up pushing back down, the likely target price point is going to be back down below at opening price again. So I don't know if price will actually pull down that far, but if it does, that's probably where it's going to go to. I'm going to go and adjust the market structure over here. All right, so we got structure right here. I mean, it's still within this area. You guys can see this is a high point and this is a low point. Middle ground is still going to be opening price right here. This is where price opened from. So what I'm hoping here is that price doesn't pull back to the opening price. I'm hoping price continues to push up, because if price pulls back to this area down here, then we're just going to be stuck in this range, right? If price ends up pulling down to this area, then it's going to be the same thing that's been happening last week. So price pushes down, fakes out, pushes up, fakes out, comes back down, pushes up, fakes out, comes back down here. And it just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, right? We don't want that. We want price to continue pushing up. So we want price to just consolidate around this area right here, push up and continue. If that's the case, then great. We'll start looking for some buys right there. And we'll just keep riding this up higher and higher, right? So I'm fine if price consolidates around this area. I just don't want price to come back down to opening price. If that happens, then we don't really have a direction, right? We need a direction for us to take these trades. So I'm hoping price stays above where it's currently at. So looking at this right here, I mean, technically, so there was actually an entry here that came up already on the 1 minute. So we can't use this momentum signal anymore. So let me see if I can see it here. Actually, so there's not really much of a direction here yet. So I think we can still use this, because you can see the trend meter over here was green. Price was pushing up. Price retraced down right here. I was wondering if this right here would have been an entry. Technically, it could have been an entry, but it's a messy entry, right? So price kind of pulled back right here. Price pushed up, retraced from this point right here. The next level of entry would have been right here at this level, right? So if you had your buy stop just waiting right there, it would have filled it and you would have went straight to your TP. I don't know if that's one I would personally take because of obvious reasons right here. You know, the trend meter is still kind of messy. The pivots here are kind of messy. So I think this momentum signal can still be used. So that's a good thing for us, because if that's the case, then we can still look for entry over here as price continues to move along. This 5 minute over here has a pending buy signal, so that's also a good thing. But yeah, so right here on the 1 minute, you can see how price is pushing up. If we get another retracement signal, then we may have possible opportunity for entry here if price does pull back down. So I'm going to be looking for an entry right here if price does pull back to a certain area. All right, if this red candle right here pulls back and it closes above this black line, then my entry is going to be right here at 35,650. So I'm just going to have this waiting right here, just waiting for that candle to close. And if it closes, I'm going to have my pending order just waiting there. We don't have that yet. We need to confirm the retracement right here. The ETR is currently at 18. It's very good. Volatility's up. So if price does pull back at some point, we can take possible entry there and then ride it back up to the next level. So I'm looking for a red candle right here. If we get a red candle, I'm going to put my buy limit right there, and then I'll be looking for possible entry at this point. We got about 10 seconds left. Again, this candle needs to close red. If it doesn't close red, there's no entry available at this point. Okay, there's no entry there. The candle there is green. So now we're just going to wait for price to push up a little bit higher. There we go. As price pushes up a bit higher. And then now we continue to wait for another opportunity. The 5 minute over here has another opportunity as well. So if this here closes, we may be able to take one for an ATR 1-to-1 off the 5 minute over here. This candle has about 4 minutes left on it though, so it's got a lot of time still. If this is the case where price continues to pull back a little bit, again, if price closes above this black line right here, this is where my entry point is going to be. It's going to be at the 50 mark. All right. Thanks, Oscar. All right, my entry is going to be sitting right there. Fuck, man, trade of eight's fucked up again. My trade of eight's kind of like, it's not placing my order there. I'm having issues with trade of eight again, guys. I'm hoping it will either fill or, let me just close this. All right, I'll leave it there for now. Hopefully it'll kind of work until it gets to that, before it gets to that point. Okay, sorry guys. I need to watch this manually because, or I need to try to close it because there's no longer in. If price pushes up higher, I need to close out of it and go to my trade of eight. Where my orders at? Where are my orders at? Okay, I got an error over here. Let me refresh this. Want to make sure I'm not in the position or there's nothing here. Okay, I have a pending order right there. I gotta close it out. All right, guys, I'm closing out of this. It's kind of frustrating. All right, let me log out and try to log back in, guys. So my order never got filled, but it came up a little bit after. Let me go over here and just log out of my trade of eight. Log back in. All right, I guess I'm gonna try to give this another shot right here at 60. All right, there's no entry there yet, guys. We don't have a retracement. It's okay. The entry down here never filled, so we still have opportunity for entry here. We just don't have a confirmation of entry point. The 5 minute over here, we also have another opportunity of entry, but it just hasn't really closed yet because we do need the retracement signal over here. ETR is currently 21, so this be a 1-to-1 right here. I want to hold it for a little bit longer. All right, price pulls back down to this area below. It's going to be the same point of entry as earlier. We got about 10 seconds left. It's going to be entry at the 50 mark if it ends up closing below that point. All right, so I got the pending right there. So this one's actually in. Fuck, this thing is dropping super heavy right now. I got in at a really bad time. Sorry, I'm holding on to it. If this candle here closes with a sell signal, I'll have to close out for a small loss. If that's the case. If not, hold on to it. So there's just a couple of things here to look for. If we get a sell signal that closes right here, then I'm going to close out for a small loss. If not, I'm gonna hold on to it and just let the trade run. Trader bait's kind of been kind of iffy lately. You guys saw what happened right now. I'm in the position though right here. You guys can see where it said order filled. And looks like it hit my TP, but it didn't close me out. I don't know if anybody here got out of it. It looks like I got caught in some slippage. Price pushed up, it hit my TP, but it didn't actually close me out of the position. I don't know if trade of eight's kind of screwing around or it just didn't fill my order. But as you guys saw right there, it did push up and it hit TP. If it hits my stop loss, I just got to deal with it. But you guys saw that price did push up right there and it hit the TP. It just didn't close me out. And trader bait's trying to be kind of annoying. I'm only in on my trader bait right now because I wasn't able to get in on the other accounts. Looks like some of you guys here got out of it. So if this is the case, I might just hold off on entering any more positions. Right? It seems like when the volatility is really high, trader bait starts to have a lot of issues. Yeah, it's all right. I took the loss on that one, guys. You guys saw that it did hit TP right there, but it didn't close me out. there's issues here with Tradeovate. You guys saw earlier the first entry that I put in, it didn't actually go up. And then after a few minutes, it came up. Right now it hit CP and then it didn't close me out of the position. So that's all good. It is what it is. I just got to deal with it. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks because it hit TP and I knew we should have pulled it, like it should have pulled me out, but it didn't. So it's all good. We'll wait for another entry here. I still have enough margin to take another trade if necessary, but yeah, that was kind of horrible. Let's see. Did anybody else hit the TP? Looks like some of you guys hit TP. Shiv looks like he hit TP. Marshall took, Maria took profit. CSIC took profit. Yeah, it looks like some of you guys here took profit, and then some guys just ended up eating the loss. I ate the loss on it. It's all good. Yeah, I might have to just chill for a little bit, guys, because if this keeps happening with Tradeovate where it doesn't close me out, I'm just gonna keep eating. Like I'm gonna get caught in these positions again. So I'm gonna hold off for a little bit for some entries, guys. If the market starts to stabilize a little bit, I'll look for another entry. But I got caught in this position here. It didn't close me out when it was supposed to. Yeah, Andrew said it hit his TP and it didn't close. I think there's an issue with, well, I mean, there's obviously an issue. If you guys got the email from Top Step, they already told you guys, well, they told all of us that there is a connectivity issue with Tradeovate. So like if we continue to trade on the accounts, it's going to be at our own risk, which we did, and we ended up getting caught at this trade right here. The good thing is that the risk wasn't super high. Let me see what my risk was for the day. There was actually some slippage there. I lost more than I was supposed to. I was only supposed to lose 1,200. I lost 2,000 on that trade due to the slippage again. It's all good. It is what it is. The max drawdown, I think, on a 150K count is 2,300. So I might just have to sit for today, guys, because I don't think I have enough margin anymore to recover from this right here due to that, whatever happened. But we'll keep looking for trades here. If sells come up, I'll mark up some sells. I'm going to go and just mark this up over here real quick so that you guys can see the trade. Unfortunately, technical issues like this do happen, and we can't do anything about it because Top Step already gave us the heads up. They said if you guys want to keep trading with Tradeovate, you're going to have to trade at your own risk, or they gave us the opportunity to swap out our accounts, which obviously I didn't swap out. This. So it's all gonna meet the loss. There we go. Frustrating. It's frustrating because it hit CP. I mean, if it just hit my stop loss, then I'd be okay with it. But the fact that price came up, hit my TP, and then it came back down, that's what makes it much more frustrating. It's all good though. We'll take it as is, and then I think for today I just got to be a little more careful because Tradeovate is obviously having issues. They didn't have issues last week, so last week was actually fine for me. I don't know. This week they're having connectivity issues, so. You guys saw the first trade I put in the pending order, it froze up, didn't set the order. And then like 5 minutes later, it said pending order. And then I closed it and then I logged out, logged back in, and thought that was going to fix it. But yeah, we just ended up getting caught in that. So. All right, we'll see where this is. Yeah, let me check my daily loss because if I still have room, I'm going to keep trading on my Top Step because I want to just recoup that loss there. I'm going to go to Top Step real quick. I want to see where my max is currently at right now. see, 57. Okay, so my max is at 3,000. I could still trade, guys. I'll take one more trade. I mean, whatever. If I end up having the same issue again, then that's on me. But I'm gonna keep trading because I do want to recoup that loss. I took more of a loss than I was supposed to. I was supposed to lose 1,200. Due to the slippage, it gave me 2,000 loss on Top Step. I can lose the total of 3,000 for the day, so I'm gonna keep trading on this account here. Because I mean, I feel like that last trade shouldn't have been a loss. And I'm hoping that this next trade here will probably allow us to recover that loss, or at least recover some of it. So, all right, I'm gonna keep looking for trades here. There's no entries for us right now at the moment. Let's see where it goes. We just need to confirm a direction. I just need about like 1 or 2 wins, and I'm just gonna recoup that loss. So 1 or 2 wins, one trade with slippage or 2 normal trades, and I'll be back into break even for the day. So I only took a trade on my Top Step, guys. So that's all that I have right here right now. There's nothing over here yet on the 5-minute. Well, I guess technically there was an entry over here on the 5, but I can't really tell if it actually like came down and not swung back up. Well, we're looking for this here to push up. Okay, so let me just reset, guys. I know we kind of went through this like scramble right here, and we're kind of confused with like what just happened in the market. But okay, so right now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for direction. There's no direction right here. You can see over here on the 1-minute and the 5-minute prices below the pivots. Momentum right here on the 5-minute is currently bullish. So we're looking for either a sell signal here to confirm that price is going to continue dropping, or we're looking for price to correct back up over here on the 1-minute so we can look for entry. So you can see right here that price is pushing back up. If this is a case and price continues to push up from where it's currently at, I'm gonna look for price to push up, retrace, and continue up higher. If that's the case right there, I'm gonna look for an entry right there, or somewhere like right there, right? That's where I'm gonna be looking for my entry. I just need about 1.5 wins or 2 wins for me to recoup my loss. I'm currently down right now on my Top Step. Let's see. I hate how like okay, so on the website, it doesn't update their metrics, but let me check my TradeOvate account. Honestly, I don't even know where it shows where I took my loss. I still haven't figured out Top Step yet. Okay, here. Okay, so I'm down 1,950. So that's where my loss is for the day. I just need to have like about like 1.5 wins or 2 wins for me to recoup that. Right now. Okay, it doesn't show my daily loss limit on TradeOvate Shiv. Or actually, let me see. You said the TS trader, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I just looked at my performance tab. So on my performance tab, it shows that I'm down 1,950. It's not really that much. It's it's like 1 or 2 trades there. So I just need to take one good trade here and then probably another one right after, and I'll be back to break even. So I'm looking for one here. As you can see, my markup right here, this is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to push up, retrace a little bit, and then push back up higher. Looks like some of you guys here did take a partial profit on that last trade, or some of you guys actually got pulled out in profit. Unfortunately, I got caught in it, but it's all good. We're gonna look for this bounce back right here as price continues to push up. So we got a sell signal over here on the 5. The 5 not really useful for us at the moment. We have to trade off the 1-minute over here as price continues to push up a bit higher. There's no confirmation of direction yet. We need price to actually push up a bit higher around this area, because where it's currently at down below right here, it's right in between the pivots. So I need price to push away from the pivots, retrace down, and then continue back up higher. If that's the case, then we can look for the entry at that point. But right now, there's no opportunity for entry right here. Here's Kenny. So Kenny took some profit off the trade earlier. Total profit of 460 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So Kenny locked in some profit right there. What else we got over here? We have Shiv over here. Shiv's currently at 4,177. Nice work, Shiv. Shiv's been trading throughout the morning though. So Shiv's been trading from London session till now. So he's pretty much just stacking up his profits. He's currently at 4,475 on that account. Sorry guys, I'm getting this messaging. People over here. All right, so we don't have the confirmation yet. Again, like I mentioned, guys, I'm looking for price to push up. Don't worry, I'm still looking at the charts. I'm just also answering questions on the side. Right here, I'm looking for price to push up and continue up higher like that. I mean, if price comes down, that's fine. We can look for some sells, but we don't really have much of a direction. You can see where price is currently at in between these pivots right here. And we're looking for price to push away from this area, because that's going to confirm the direction of trend. We currently have direction of momentum. We have a buy signal right here. However, we don't have a direction of trend just yet. So we're kind of just waiting over here. I mean, technically, I guess if you wanted to enter right here, because some people like to take riskier trades, there was the buy signal right here. The trend meter was already green. So price pushed up right here. Entry could have happened at this point over here, and it probably would have went straight to TP already. I wouldn't have taken that myself because it's not really too clear as to direction of price. But again, right there, that would be entry right there because price pushed up. This red candle was a retracement. Price came down to fill, and then it pushed back up from that point there. Second, guys. Guys, if you guys have questions, like any technical questions, make sure to like ask me these questions before the live session, because if you guys are like demanding for stuff like during the live session, I'm not going to respond to you because we're trading right now. So just a heads up, guys, in the future, if you guys have any like technical questions, like you can't get onto certain things or you don't know how to use your trading view, message me before or after the live session, because it's kind of just messing with my focus right here. There's no entries for us to take right now, so there's nothing for us to take, but I just want to give you guys a heads up because I feel like people don't realize that I'm doing like so many things at once, and I can't answer like your basic question while I'm trading right now. So, all right, guys, back to the charts. Don't worry, we haven't missed anything here. But I just want to give you guys a heads up just in case, because I feel like people don't realize that I'm trading right now, and they're like, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do that?" And I can't because I'm trading right now. All right, guys, so we're looking for price to push away from where it's currently at right now. You can see prices going back and forth between this area, but we are looking for price to push away and pull back. So basically push away from this area, pull back to one of the levels, whether it be this level, that level, etc. And then we're going to look for entries at one of these points. C6 said, can you make me an avocado toast, right? All right, let's see. Van Harwick said your confluence is on point. Thanks, Van Harwick. Yeah, we've been looking for buys here pretty much, for the most part all day. We're just looking for a confirmation here. Once we get that confirmation, we can start looking. We're starting to get the confirmation of a bullish direction here, but we just haven't really confirmed it yet because price is going sideways. The ATR is still decent. ATR is currently at 17 right now, or 16, so it's still pushing back and forth. We just need price to actually push out of this area where it's currently at. So Here is the clean chart. Let me go and just make some updates over here again real quick. We have another level of structure above here. And prices right back down to the middle. So this is the same area that we talked about earlier, guys, that we didn't really want price to be in. So if you look over here where price is pushed at, it's pretty much faked out in both directions. Price is faked out below here. It's faked out above here. And now it's back to opening price right here. So as you guys can see, price didn't really go anywhere today. Price came down, faked out, came up, faked out, came back down, and now it's back to this area right here in the middle where price has pretty much just been ranging and consolidating for a bit. So what we need here is we need price to actually push back away from this area. So it's okay if price comes back to this area, but we need it to bounce off it and continue pushing up higher from where it's currently at, right? From this area over here. Because if this is the case, then we can start looking for some buys. And then vice versa, if price pushes down below, then we can look for some sells there. There's just no direction right now where price is currently going. So price is right back to opening price. If you look back at the fundamentals, you'll see that the fundamentals never pushed anywhere. It's currently at 15. I already knew that because I can see where price is currently at, right? If price doesn't push away from this area, then the fundamentals are going to be pretty much flat. And it's been pretty much flat all day today. So you can see right there at that 12 points, we don't have a bias right now with regard to fundamentals because there's no direction of price. And if you guys know how to read certain things like price direction over here and movement, like from opening price, you can tell if price is actually moving. So if price was actually bullish, then this would be up 100 points, right? If price is bearish below this point right here, then the fundamentals would be below 100 points. With that said, there's no direction right now because the fundamentals are right down the middle. They're still at 12 points. Retail sentiment over here is starting to slow down a little bit, but it's still high. So I think price will continue pushing up eventually. But I think right now it's still at that point where price is kind of just ranging up until probably Wednesday. So if you guys are not familiar with NFP, NFP is non-farm payroll. This is NFP week. The actual NFP gets released on Friday, but there's a lot of related news that gets released throughout the week. So for NFP, typically it's either going to be very volatile from Monday up until Friday, or it's going to be slow from Monday till Wednesday, and then Wednesday to Friday it'll pick up. So right now you can see there's a little bit of volatility, but there's not really much direction. Price is kind of just spiking back and forth. So you're getting some crazy movement here with regard to NFP, but it's not necessarily, it's not really moving too smoothly right now. It's just going back and forth. So in order for us to really have the opportunity to trade, we need to have a direction. We can't just have price going back and forth within here. If you guys want to trade back and forth, then the high-low momentum scalp might be the strategy that you want to apply, or the SR rejection scalp. Those are the two main strategies that you can apply when price is ranging sideways. That's the thing that Shiv here has been applying. So Shiv over here has been applying the high-low momentum scalp. Like he's been applying it during Lenin session over here. And that's how he made a lot of his profits. So it just depends on the market conditions. If market's going sideways or ranging back and forth, the high-low momentum scalp would be the strategy, or the SR rejection scalp. And then when price is moving directional, you can apply pretty much every other strategy because all the strategies are based off momentum. So, all right, price is now back at opening price right here. It's not really doing too much. I mean, there's nothing here that we can take. Specifically, the ATR is still at 15. So thankfully it's still moving, but there's just not much direction here for us to trade in. I mean, technically you could have taken a sell here, but it's not really a good entry in my opinion, personally. But technically this could have been an entry here if we wanted to take a sell. There just isn't really much of a confirmation of direction here. You can see how price is going back and forth within this area. But I mean, if you're following the strategy just plainly as it is, technically you could have taken a sell right here. So there's a sell momentum signal, price retraced up with this green candle right here. The only problem is that it's too close. So see how this momentum signal is right here? This entry is a little too close to where this candle is. You typically want to push away from it, like down here, retrace, and then take your entry from this point down here, right? That's typically where you want to make the entry. So for me personally, I don't think there's much of a direction here yet, so I wouldn't have taken this sell here because the entry is just too close to this momentum signal. If we had a strong sell bias, then I would have taken the sell there, but I typically would want to take it down here. And you can see how price is pushing back up. This is more of the direction that we want to trade in. We want to trade in the direction of a buy because the overall bias for today is still a bit bullish, right? Retail sentiment 76% short. It's now 75, but it's still bullish. Fundamentals are still neutral. They're currently at like 17, right down the middle. Short-term technicals are pretty much neutral. It's right in between for all these time frames right here. And the higher time frames over here are more of a bullish neutral now. The 30 minutes in between the pivots, 1 hour is in between the pivots. The 4 hour here is bullish. So with that said, I'm going to change this to bullish neutral. But it's still bullish nonetheless. So for me personally, I'd be looking for a buy here. We don't have a confirmation of that yet, but if price does push up a bit higher, we can maybe start looking for some buys. We do have the bullish momentum there, but again, we need price to push up a bit higher. So bullish momentum there, we need price to push up higher, higher, and higher. And then we can start looking for entries at that point. All right. So we got some profits over here from KC. KC's currently up 1,060 for the day. Nice work, KC. All wins. Looks like he took the buy earlier today, and it looks like it hit. All right, it looks like he took a partial profit there, actually. So nice work right there, KC. Yeah, Shiv said he's looking for one more trade, 0.5 or 0.75 risk, and he's done for the day. I mean, I'm looking for one trade too, at least, hopefully to recoup some of that loss from earlier today. I should have just pulled out early, honestly, guys. When price hit TP earlier and it didn't close me out, I should have just manually pulled out of that trade. I don't know, I just got greedy and I didn't pull out, but I should have pulled out of that trade. But it's all good. It is what it is. Typically price would hit and I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't have to worry about it. But today, the executions are just not playing through. Even the pending orders aren't coming up like you guys saw from earlier today. So just for future reference, guys, if that happens and the market's moving kind of like, if it typically hits your TP, it would typically close. But if it hits your TP like it did today and it didn't close out, I would just manually close it out. Typically, I would manually close it out. But for today, for whatever reason, I just decided to hold on to it because I thought it was going to close out. And it just didn't. So you should always be in control of your account, guys. Even if you think the trade will close out for you, you should at least close it out if you think that there's some sort of technical issue there. It's all good. It happens. Let's see what else I'm missing here. There's just no direction now. You guys can see the volatility starting to die down. It's currently at 14 now. Earlier it was at like 18, 16, 15. Now it's down to 14. This isn't good because typically we want it to be above 15. If the volatility here stays low, then there's not going to be any opportunity for entry. You can see the volatility here is not really moving too much. It's just staying flat around this area, which is not a good thing. We need price to actually be pushing back and forth before we can start looking for some entries here. So we're just going to sit tight. It's only 7:20 right now. It's not really that far into the session just yet. So we still have time. I mean, price might pick up. We have news over here at 7:30. Hopefully this will push price, in a direction. It seems like that's kind of what's happening here. Price is just ranging until it gets close to news over here at 7:30. Once 7:30 happens, hopefully price will push away from it, either above or below. And we can possibly look for at least one entry here before it gets time to wrap it up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to focus on the 1 minute time frame because the 5 minutes kind of useless right now. There's no direction there. Price is just going sideways. But there's more opportunities over here for the entry on the 1 minute. If hopefully we get a direction here. These are typical summer conditions where the market just tends to die out a bit. Let me check the news at 7:30. What are we looking at for today? At 7:30, we have the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. It's medium impact news. Hopefully this does affect the market, because if it does, then it'll push price in a direction. Once we have that, we can start looking for an entry. I really just need like one trade or maybe even two trades to recoup some of my losses from earlier today. Or my loss, not losses, just one loss. So that I can bounce back from it. I just want to recoup at least some of it, maybe just like one trade to recoup some of it. And then tomorrow we'll be back on to cover the rest of it. But if we don't have anything, I'm not going to force anything here. I'd rather have one loss and then move on into the week rather than multiple. So. All right, we just got to wait till 7:30. It looks like there's no movement here. You can see each candle is very small. Let's go over here to the clean chart. So as you guys can see over here on the clean chart, pretty much everything above was noise, right? So the real movement is basically between these two zones right here. The push to the upside right here, this is just a fake out. Price pushed up, faked out at that point, and then it pulled right back to opening price right here. So, I mean, if you guys want to keep it realistic, I mean, realistically, price only moved within like this small area right here. Like basically within this little small area right here. This is the actual movement between this area. Everything above and below is pretty much just fake outs. This is kind of the same thing that was happening last week. If you guys remember last week, I think it was Monday. If not Monday, it happened on Tuesday. Pretty much like a lot of the days last week, this is kind of what happened. Price faked out in both directions, and then it just pulled back to the opening price right here, and it pretty much did nothing for the entire session. Another way to confirm that there's nothing going on is just to look at the ATR. The ATR down below is 13 now, right? That's very low. In order for you to have decent volatility to take a 100 pip move, you want it to be above 15 points. Right now it's 13. Hopefully it picks up a little bit, but we're probably just gonna have to wait for this this news candle right here to pass. Because realistically, it's just going sideways right here. That's just going sideways right there. Yeah. DeJounte is gonna call it he's gonna call it a day. Market looks boo-boo. It does, there's just no direction. If there was at least some direction here, it'd be good, but it's pretty flat right now. Let's see. All right, so the volatility is getting worse. So if you guys are wondering what I'm looking at, I'm just looking at the ATR down here. It's now at 12. So the volatility is actually getting worse. We're hoping to get better. It was at 13, and we're hoping for it to go back to 15, but right now it's at 12. You guys can just see by looking at the chart. I don't even have to like show you guys anything. Just looking at these candles right here, there's no movement. It's a flat market right now. I'm hoping by the time we get to news over here at 7:30, it'll start to push. But right now it's not looking like it's picking up at all. It's just pretty much dead right now at the moment. Shiv's asking, Sean, what time zone are you again? I'm in Pacific time zone. So Pacific, I think we're standard time right now. Pacific standard time or daylight savings time. I'm not sure if we're in daylight savings, but just Pacific time, 4 p.m. for mentoring. So when we get off here at 8 o'clock, it's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. So about like 8 or 9 hours after the live session. Yeah, I think you guys, it's late for you guys over in the UK. So if anything, you can just watch the replay shift. If there's any specific questions that you have, just send me the questions and I'll cover your questions in the beginning. So when you watch the replay, you'll have all your answers, all your questions answered. So just send me your questions and I'll answer your questions at the very beginning. So you don't have to watch the entire mentoring session. And then next week we'll go back to regular time so that you can attend the mentoring session. Because I know some of you guys here are on different time zones. Yeah, 2 p.m. is pretty much good for majority of people. So I think like every other week or every 2 weeks, we'll have it in the afternoon for the other people who can trade at night. And then we'll go back to our 2 p.m. time. So this is just for this week, guys. And then we're going to, we'll change it up. But anyways, guys, volatility here is still very low. You can see it's actually getting even lower. It's now at 11 points. This is not good at all because there's no movement here. You guys can see over here on the clean chart, it looks like the market is moving here on the clean chart because it looks like there's movement here. But realistically, if you look on this chart over here, the markups, comparing these big candles to these small ones right here, there's not really much movement at all. We have about 3 minutes until news right here at 7:30. Hopefully this will push price around. But other than that, there's not really too much to look at here. Let's see, 5 things to know before the stock market opens on Monday. It's already open. July heat, earnings seasons. Earnings season marches on. So we got Uber today or tomorrow. We have Uber, Merck, Pfizer. We have a lot of earnings over here for brands that are, or companies that are within US30. I think Merck's in US30 and I think Pfizer as well. Unless they've shifted it. Let's see. Yeah, Merck and Co is right there. So we got earnings tomorrow for Merck and Co, and then also Pfizer. They took Pfizer out around COVID time. So I think they swapped out Pfizer with Procter & Gamble. So Pfizer is no longer part of US30. CVS. I don't think CVS is part of this anymore either. Moderna, they took that out. Amazon, Apple. So we got pretty much earnings on Tuesday for Merck. And then we have earnings on Thursday for, I believe, Amazon and Apple. Actually, Amazon's not even on here. Apple's on here though. All right, so we have earnings on basically Tuesday and Thursday for US30. They're not huge, but they're going to have an effect on the movement. All right, and then the Russia-Ukraine war is still going on as well. All right, so volatility is starting to pick up slightly right here. You can see it's back to, or not really, it's still at 11. We got news coming up in about 30 seconds. So in about 30 seconds, we'll have a news candle right here come up. Hopefully this pushes price, I mean, whatever direction. I don't care if price goes up or goes down. I just want to get some sort of direction over here so that we can look for any possible opportunities for entry. Let's go back to the 5 minute. So the 5 minute has a pending buy signal over here. This could be beneficial if price continues to push. All right, here goes a news candle right here. It's like literally right next to the other news candle. All right, we've got some initial volatility right here on these 2 candles. Main focus right now is going to be the ATR, guys. So if you guys are wondering what I keep looking at the ATR down here. Right, this number right here is what I'm looking at. It's still at 11 because we can't really take entries until it's above 15. It's at 12 now. And you guys will see, like, if you look back at these previous candles over here where the candles are moving very heavily, you can see the ATR is currently 20, or it was 20 at that time. And then when the market starts to die down over here, it starts to slow down quite a bit. Currently at 11 right now. Yeah, it's still at 11. The liquidity from earlier today hit too. So pretty much all the levels of liquidity hit today. So this level right here hit full TP. This one hit full TP. This one as well. And then this one up here too hit some TP as well. If you guys took the liquidity, pretty much all liquidity from this morning got knocked out. There's no other liquidity that's leveled up that's available right now. Yeah, it looks like Kenny took a liquidity over here. But other than that, there's no more liquidity until price gets above here. So the first high level liquidity is going to be up here at 35,708. I don't think that price will get to that point today. It might get to that point later today, but not right now during this live session. Probably like later around noon. So later in the day, price may hit this level of liquidity, but right now there's just no level right now for it to hit. There's only one trade we took today. Unfortunately, I had to eat the loss on that trade. Trade did hit TP, but I'm going to count it as a loss because I ate the loss on it. Had a technical issue with trade of 8. This volatility is still low. So volatility is currently at 12 right now. Here is the clean chart. That's still not really much going on here. Price is pulling back down. All right, if there's any questions that you guys have, we have a lot of downtime right now, guys. It's only 7:33, so I'm not going to get off. I'm still going to be on here, but we do have a lot of downtime right now. So if there's any questions that you guys have, or if you guys want me to explain any of these strategies, just let me know, and I can go over your questions right now. This is typical for summer conditions. You know, we took our first entry over here when the volatility was high. It should have played out, but unfortunately it didn't. So we're kind of just sitting right now and waiting for the volatility to pick back up. Volatility right now currently ATR is at 12, so super slow. But there's not really much going on at the moment. We have about 30 minutes till 8, so I'm still going to stick on here and look for some possible entries, but the volatility is so low that there's not really much for us here to look at. We'll take a look at the overall direction again to see if there's anything that we can I mean, I guess decipher, but there's not really too much here to look at, because even if we do have a change in overall direction, there's still no entries that we can take here. Yeah, there's just not much here. Let's see. All right, Ship, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Andrew said these opposite momentum signals are coming up so quick on both sides. Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially on a 5-minute. So I think this is like one of the biggest red flags too on the 5-minute, because there's not typically, like, generally you're not going to see this many opposite signals on the 5-minute, right? So like if you look over here, they're pretty much spread out. Like you'll get an opposite signal maybe every, I don't know, like maybe every hour. So you get a retracement signal, then a correction, and then you get a retracement signal and a correction, and then you don't get much signals after that. For today, there's actually a lot right here. So you can see there's a buy signal, a sell signal, a buy signal, and then it just keeps going back and forth. So like what Andrew said, okay, that's another red flag to look at, to confirm that there's really not much direction here, because the volatility is so, there's just no direction. It's going sideways, plus the opposite momentum signal just keep coming up, which is pretty much not a good thing. But this is regular for summer, so it's not like this is a crazy surprise. It's just, it's a boring summer market, and this is typically how it is throughout summer. It's not always like this. It depends on the season. Like COVID was actually very volatile. The year after COVID was volatile, and then last year was still volatile because we were going into a recession. Now that we're in the recession, it's technically, I mean, whether you want to say we're in a recession or not, it's pretty much flat now because nobody's trading during the summer. There has to be something in the world happening for the market to pick up. So I think last year or the year before that, that was when the Ukraine-Russia war happened, and there was volatility like early summer, and it kind of faded out. This year is actually one of the regular summers. So we haven't had a regular summer in a long time. Every year we typically have something big happening. We had COVID happen. I think COVID was going on for like what, 2 years? And then we had post-COVID. So it was still like COVID type markets. And then now we just have, I guess, a recession. Next year, I think next summer will be a lot more crazier because we have the presidential election. But this year, we don't really have too much going on in the world. And we have stuff going on, but it's nothing that's really directly affecting the market like it has in the past. So, I mean, let's just go back to this 1 minute over here. And just look at these candles do nothing pretty much. Go back and forth. Yeah, Andrew said, we'll bounce back tomorrow. Got caught in the same trade as you, but recoup some of it. So Andrew over here actually recouped some of his losses. He's currently only down 300 for the day, so he's not down that much. Looks like he took one trade there and it pulled him right back into profit. But there's just nothing for us to take here. I was hoping I'd get one trade here at least to pull me back into profit, but or at least recoup some of those losses. But the volatility here is just too low. So yeah, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I can help you with whatever you need help with right now. I'm still going to hang on here for the next couple of minutes and see if we can pick something up. It's 7:37 right now, so we got about 22 minutes until 8 o'clock. So I'm hoping it picks up, but I'm just kind of focusing on the ATR down here. If I start to see this number here pick up, then great. We can maybe look for an entry, but right now it's at 11. So we really need price to push somewhere at either above or below for us to have that ATR pick up. So like realistically, the ATR is going to stay at 11 or even lower unless price pushes somewhere down here or somewhere up here. Like we need to have some sort of direction here. Price needs to push out of this area. It's just going sideways right here. You can't really see it too well here on the clean chart because it looks like price is actually moving because we don't have those levels marked up. But if I had those levels marked up here, so say for example, I had these levels, the same ones that I have on the clean chart. So if I put the levels up here, you guys can see that there's not really much direction. Looks like price is moving, but realistically, it's not really moving too much. It's kind of just bouncing between this area because each of these levels is 100 pips or 10 points. So, I mean, realistically, it's not really much of a movement. Like, for example, here, price has pretty much been ranging for the past, let's see, for the past like 15 minutes, just sideways. Just back and forth right there. Let's take a look at the 1 hour entry. So if you guys take the 1 hour entry at 5 o'clock, this is like one of everybody's favorites. The 1 hour entry over here at 5 o'clock hit. I marked this up. I was going to take it this morning, but I didn't because I typically don't like trading this strategy on Monday before market open. But 5 o'clock right here, market hit and it hit full TP. Right here at 6 o'clock, there's no entry. 7 o'clock, there is no entry. Looks like 8 o'clock might have an entry. So price is bullish right here, bullish momentum. Looks like the volatility is starting to pick up a little bit. So let's go back and see where the ATR is. ATR is currently at 12. It's still kind of slow, but it is picking up a little bit. So maybe we'll be able to catch one closer to 8 o'clock as we get closer to market close. But right now the market is still kind of slow. It's picking up slightly. But again, like I mentioned before, we need price to actually be like way up here before it starts to provide entry for strategy. So what I'll do here is I'll follow any possible entries. So if I see a retracement right here, I'll look to see if there's any possible entry, but until the ATR picks up, I'm not going to take it, because the last thing I want to do is be stuck in this position with, basically no direction. I mean, technically the entries could have happened over here. So for example, price pushed up, or the entry could happen right here actually, or right here. So price pushed up right here, retraced down. The entry could have happened right here at this candle. That's one of them that could have came up. There's another one right here where price pushed up, pulled back again right here. The other entry could have happened right there. So there's actually two entries right here that could have hit. It's just they weren't good entries. Because there wasn't really too much of a direction. The ATR is too low. So let me just go back real quick. I'll show you guys an example of a possible entry that could have happened. So we had a bullish momentum right here, right? Bullish momentum, price pushed above. We didn't get a confirmation of trend until price kind of pushed above these pivots here. So price pushed above here. At this candle right here, you could have looked for a retracement. So starting from this candle right here, you would have waited for a red candle. The red candle finally came right here, right? So when this red candle came down, the entry would have happened at the next level right here, because it's below this black line right here. So entry would have happened right here for this first opportunity. Price would have came down, filled the order. And then you can see right there, it's in profit, and it goes straight to full TP right there. So this is one of the entries that could have been taken if you wanted to take it. The ATR is very low. You can see it's at 12, but this is one right here. Yeah, so Casey said that that's the one that Kip and him caught. So Casey and Kip caught this entry right here. That's the first one. And there's another one that came up right here as well. So price pushes back up. This is the bullish movement right here. This red candle right here would have been the retracement. The entry would have been at this candle right, or this price right here at this black line, right? So price pushes back up. You get the retracement right here. Entry would have happened right here. This next candle pulls down, would have filled the entry right there. You would have been in the position, would have pushed up, and then would have hit your TP again right there. So there's two different entries that would have came up right here, but they just weren't good entries because the ATR was too low. You can see that it would have hit, but it would have taken a lot longer than you would have wanted. Typically, these trades will hit like right away. This first one here hit right away, but this one over here would have taken about like 3-4 minutes. So I just want to show you guys examples there of like the possible entries. The ATR is just a little too low right now. Yeah, because the ATR is at 11. So the problem with that is that if you take a trade, it's probably going to, like, for example, right here, this, let's see. Technically, entry could have been made right here too, if you would have wanted to take it. But you'll see that if you would have taken the trade here, or it actually wouldn't have filled yet. You can see how the volatility is so low that it makes it almost impossible for you to hit your trade in the manner that you want it to hit it, because you typically don't want to be holding on to the position for more than like 5 minutes. Right here, price is pushing up. The ATR is still very low. It's just a low volatile market. The volatility is too low, where, because typically what you want to happen here is, like, for example, if you have your entry waiting for entry at that point, you want it to just come down slightly, like very quickly. You want it to come down, fill your order, reject off that price point, and then go straight to your TP. That's typically what you're looking for. Looks like the volatility here is starting to pick up a little bit, which is a good thing. Maybe we can catch at least one entry here as price continues to move along. Let me go to the 5 minute over here real quick. Yeah, so the 5 minute over here, I mean, there's opportunities on both sides. Let's see, the 5 minute over here has an ATR at 24. Still has 4 minutes left on it, so it's got a lot of time. The ATR is 24 though. So I'm not going to take this entry here, guys. I'll mark it up for you guys. There's possible entry right here. It's just because the ATR is so low. ATR is currently at 11 right now, so it's still moving kind of slow. So technically there can be a possible entry right here. Not one that I would personally take for, obvious reasons, but did you guys see that spike? This thing is moving crazy. So again, another reason why I don't want to trade right here, because I didn't realize this thing spiked down here and it would have filled it. The market's just moving very weird. This is kind of what happened earlier this morning. So do you guys see the spike there? It just spiked down all randomly. That's a huge candle for a 1 minute. I mean, the ATR is picking up, but this spike here is like crazy. So I'm not necessarily looking to take anything right here right now. I was going to mark this up to show you guys a possible entry, but I mean, these random candles or these random spikes are kind of throwing me off a bit. I still wouldn't want to take because the volatility is too low. It's still at 12. All right, so the 5 minute over here, well, this candle still hasn't closed. Once this candle here closes, I'll mark up this possible 5 minute entry here. There's no confirmation of it yet. Still have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on this candle. So this candle is not going to close anytime soon. Main focus over here would be on this 1 minute. But the ATR here is still at 12, so it's not really. There's like a couple of candles here that are kind of spiking through, like it's spiking around, but they're not necessarily normal candles. The ATR is still at 12 right now. Possible sell signal coming up over here. Sell signal still hasn't closed, but price is bouncing around this area. All right, so here goes the correction back up. So I'm not in this position right here, guys, but I was trying to show you guys a possible entry here. It would have been this one right here. So price is still, I mean, this trade's still running and it looks like it's pushing back up into profit. I mean, I'm not in this position, so I'm not going to count it, of course. But if the volatility was high enough, this would have been the entry that I would have taken. It looks like it's going to hit TP and it did. So let me just go over this entry over here. This is one that we looked at. I said I was going to mark it up for you guys, but I wasn't going to take it because the volatility was too low. And then we had a random spike right there. But this entry right here is the one that we were looking at. So price pushed up right here. This candle pulled back. It closed below this black line right here. So the entry would have happened right here, right? Price was kind of sitting around this area. And then it spiked down to fill the order. And then it came right back up. And then it hit full TP. So looks like Cameron took it. So if you guys are here in the Zoom, Cameron said he caught it late. It's just a risky market right now, guys. It's summer condition. And the volatility is not very consistent. So if you guys took it right there, it would have went straight to full TP. Looks like the 5 minute over here can still be, there's still opportunity for entry right there. ATR is currently at 25. So entry would actually happen right here. I mean, not one I would personally want to take, but that's where the entry would happen at. All right, so this 1 minute over here hit full TP. Well, I guess we can start looking for, I mean, not, we'll see. The ATR here is picking up, but it's getting close to 8 o'clock. So ATR is currently at 13. Time right now is 7:50. So it's not really, I don't think we're gonna have enough time for entry here. ATR kind of died, it dropped back down to 12. So I don't think we're gonna get a pickup until like in the next 10 minutes. So if there's any questions that you guys have, guys, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to eat that loss for today. It doesn't look like I'm gonna have time to take any other opportunity for entry here. I'm gonna just get a screenshot of my loss for today to show you guys. So let me show you guys over here real quick. I just want to be transparent with you guys, right? Losses happen. So you guys have to understand to just accept the loss and then move on with it. I know sometimes people will get FOMO here and they'll want to like squeeze in the trade just to recoup that loss. But realistically, like the loss here is not that bad. So my loss over here is for 1,950, not a really big loss. It just, I ended up getting caught in this technical issue here where price was supposed to close out of our TP at that point, but then it ended up not closing and we ended up getting caught in the position. So for me right here, took a little loss right there. It's all good, it happens. And then I'm probably just gonna bounce back from this tomorrow. I was hoping I'd be able to catch at least one trade here, but it's just, there's no volatility right now. Volatility is too low. It's currently at 12, so it's not even close to 15 right now. And you can see here, it's starting to die down a bit again. Looking over here, let's see, so we got Casey over here. He took another trade. That last one that we just looked at, total profit of 1,643 for the day. Nice work, Casey. So solid profit right there on Casey's end. We also have Mike over here. Nice work, Mike. Yeah, Mike did pass another little lunch money challenge. Good luck shot, definitely, Mike. So Mike over here locked in a total profit of 464 for the day. Nice work, Mike. All wins. So he took some trades back and forth. Looks like he took the liquidity. So I'm looking over here at the timestamps. He had these sells over here at 6:30. He took the first level liquidity, second level liquidity, third level liquidity. Looks like he took one of the trades here as well, and then one level of liquidity to the upside. So it looks like these first 1, 2, 3, 4 trades are all liquidity. He hit all his full TPs right there. And then his last one over here was that last trade. So total profit of 464 for the day. Nice work, Mike. We got Rick over here too. Rick's currently at 407 on the first account. Total profit of 402 and then 407 on this one right here. His total P&L. So nice work right there, Rick. So it looks like a lot of you guys here still locked in some pretty good profit. We have Stern over here as well, total profit of 134 on his first account. Second account, total profit of 845. And then Stern's third account over here, total profit of 885 for the day. So it looks like a lot of you guys here took the liquidity push on open. Let me just go back to the liquidity chart. There was a lot of entries here that came up. So there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 sells right here, and then 1 buy over here, all full TPs. I didn't take any of those trades, so I'm not going to count those as official trades. The only trades that I'm counting as official trades are the ones that I take personally. So if you guys are wondering what trades a lot of these people took, you can see Stern over here took a couple trades. You can see Michael over here took a couple trades. They all hit full TP. So these 3 sells right here are the ones he took right over here. Liquidity 1, liquidity 2, liquidity 3. And then his fourth win right there, 153, was the liquidity 4 up here. So pretty much all these levels that I marked at pre-market, some of you guys took it, and this is where everybody caught those wins. Unfortunately, I ate the loss from the one earlier. So, I mean, it just happens. So nice work right there, Mike, Rick. See what else we got over here. Stern over here as well. He took his trades right there, all the wins. And I think that's about it. Other than that, I don't really see anything else here for us to take. The volatility is still very low. You can see the ATR is currently at 11 right now, so that's pretty flat. But yeah, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:55 right now. It's about 5 minutes till 8. I don't think volatility is going to pick up in the next 5 minutes, so I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm gonna eat that loss for today and I'm gonna bounce back tomorrow. Thankfully, I only took it on my, well, I mean, actually, if I took it on my MT4, it probably would hit TP, but I only took it on my top step. So that's the only loss that I ate for today. But yeah, as you guys can see here, it doesn't matter if it's a technical issue or if it actually hits your stop loss. I would have been more satisfied if it just hit my stop loss versus it being a technical issue, but it's all good. It happens sometimes, right? Issues like this are going to arise, and you just got to prepare for the worst. So I'm just going to eat this loss here, and then I'm going to bounce back tomorrow. There's no other entries for me to take right now. Here's Cameron's account. So Cameron said trash loss. So he took loss there as well, but then he bounced right back. So total profit over here for Cameron is 1,253. He actually took the loss there, but he also bounced back with these other trades as price continued to come along. So nice work right there, Cameron. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat right now. Otherwise, I'll be back here in about 8 hours for the mentoring session. So our mentoring session today is getting pushed back 2 hours, guys, to 4 p.m. so that we can accommodate for the afternoon traders who are still working like normal jobs, and they can only come on later today. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys here in a couple hours for the group mentoring session this week. Otherwise, if not, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session, and we'll bounce back from this loss today. All right, guys, other than that,